Okay, hi guys. Let's try this again. Welcome, Dr. George Kosmides. A little bit of technical difficulty. I like to say it was the equipment, but it was the user. Well, we're back on now. Give everyone a chance to jump back in again. Now, let me know if you guys can see the pictures on the right of my face, and my face should be considerably smaller than the pictures. I guess it would be on your on your right. Yes. Okay. Great. All right. Hey, Charisse. Let me welcome everyone. Thank you guys for tweeting me out and sharing me out. Wow.
I couldn't find welcome. Thank you guys for it.
Wow, I have no idea why my phone is freaking out here. Give me a moment. Okay, there we go. Holy cow. My phone is freaking out. Bear with me. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I'm set. Welcome to my broadcast. I'm going to break all this down. You should see images on the right of my picture. So I'm Dr. George Kosmides. I'm a doctor of chiropractic in Redondo Beach. I've been practicing for over 20-something years. I don't want to say how many, but over 20 years. Hey, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. What's your favorite Vitamix? My wife bought it, but it's a really good one. It was like, close to $400, but I've caught 2 blenders on fire in my career, so I don't want to do that. What's the best thing to use over the counter? I'm gonna break it down for you. Sometimes they might not be your best option, but I'm gonna break it down for you on the best way, not only to get rid of it, but to keep it away. That's the problem. Welcome to my broadcast. You guys can share and follow me out. That would be awesome. I'll give you a shout. And I'm going to try to, again, break this down for you as easy as possible. There's another one of my super fans, Nick, also Lean Body Academy member. Welcome, Nick, as always. Technical guru guy, always looking for ways to improve the academy and improve my program. That's awesome. How prevalent is heroes? Not understanding that question, my friend. Not understanding that. But let me go through, where's my notes? Okay, let me go through my, give you guys a couple more minutes. Let me go through my 3 keys. This is not my cup of tea. Cheers! It's okay. But remember, just because you're not a woman or don't appear to have a yeast infection doesn't mean you have a yeast problem. Hey, Alma, thanks for joining me. You always seem to make my broadcast. That is awesome. Sean T, 77, thanks for inviting your followers. Even itching of the neck, itching of the ears, itching, can be candida, and men can be susceptible to it as well. Bloating, gas, things like that. But I'm going to break it down for you guys. Yeah, I know what I'm going to help you with that. Herpes is actually a viral condition, and that virus lives on the base of the spine. So it's interesting. Yeah, it can be real painful too at times. So I'm gonna break it down for you. Anyway, my name is Dr. George Kosmides. I'll try this again. I had some technical problems last night. Alma, thanks for sharing me out. I've been practicing for 20-something years. I nearly lost my father. I lost my father at the age of 56, and my 2 uncles at 55 and 31. I nearly lost my life at 19 in a really, really bad car accident. Was scheduled for surgery, was on morphine and Xanax, and it was a nightmare. I pulled myself together, got help from an excellent doctor of chiropractic who is also a clinical nutritionist, had an orthopedist in his office. I mean, I got the best of care, and here I am today. So I'm not pro anything. I'm not negative anything. I'm for what works and what doesn't, and the physiological reasons why. That's why I'm going to break this down for you tonight. So here we go. Symptoms of candida, yeast. It's known for, those are the 2 main names that it's known for. Thank you. So itching of the throat, itching of the ears, almost like there's tickling inside the neck. That can be candida. If you pull your cheek out, you can see white blotches in there. That could be yeast as well, or candida as well. The tongue could have a white coating on it. Thrush, we've all heard of babies having thrush, form of candida. Vaginal discharge, an extreme form of candida. Nail fungus can be associated, and I'll explain why. So the symptoms could be varied, really varied, okay? There's actually a spit test that I'll give you at the end of this broadcast that'll show you how to distinguish candida, how deeply it's rooted, and how, just basically if you have it, prevalent numbers. You'll never kill all of it because it's in our bodies in relatively moderated amounts. So if candida is here, good bacteria is here. So you never get rid of it. It's always there. Good bacteria keeps it in homeostasis, or keeps it in balance. When you take non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, birth control pills, any type of steroid, that will predispose you to having lower good flora and higher elements of Candida albicans, which is the most common. So all those things can contribute. And to try to just kill it off and be done with it, it doesn't work that way. So there are the symptoms. Now I'm going to give you ways to help yourself. Number one, you first obviously have to recognize that you have the problem. Someone mentioned nail fungus, toe fungus. You saw the pictures up there of the looks like the rotting toe. The best way to deal with that is, and yeast is to do this. Number one, go out and get you a good probiotic. A good one is Udo's. They make an adult and they make a child's version. And again, it's not a, let me take a whole bunch for 1 week. It's something that you may have to stay on for a while. 3 months I would recommend. Second thing is, yeast will tend to make you crave sugars tremendously. And what's really interesting, the skin problems that you see on the slides that I'm putting up, that's actually caused by the Candida's waste, their urine and their excrement. It creates highly acidic environments, and the body expresses that by throwing heat on the skin. So it's their waste products that are creating a lot of the whole problem, because they're living organisms. They're going to the bathroom, they're defecating, they're urinating inside of our bodies. The higher concentrations we get, the more symptoms that come out of us. I've seen that, and some people always wondered about that. Yeah. So don't confuse. People say, oh, I just have bad acne. It could be a Candida problem. Normally people who have bad acne, if you ask them, how's your digestion? They'll usually say, oh, I don't eat too well, or I'm constipated. There we go. That's the in between the toes. That's actually spreading the toes apart. This image, you might not be able to read the writing, but it talks about the things I'm talking about: itching, rectal itching. Rectal itching could be a couple of things, but Candida can cause that. Don't get a cheap brand; they will cost, but worth it. Yeah, Udo's is the best. They've been around the longest, in my opinion. It's taking care of yeast, helpless sugar cravings. Exactly correct. Also, good supporting your lean body mass and protein also helps with protein is the main sugar modulator in the body. And if you can regulate your sugar intake while you're combating a yeast infection, you'll do well to lower your cravings. It's a process. You're not going to take something on Monday and everything's going to be copacetic on Wednesday. It doesn't work that way. Don't believe the hype. There's a lot of things, 24-hour yeast cure. It's not reasonable. Oh, any dogs, cats. I think any. I'm not a veterinarian, but we're all susceptible to yeast because we have a certain amount. Udo's. It's UDOS. Udo's Choice. It'll have an old school label. Product's been around for a couple decades. I don't think that probiotic comes in a liquid, but I could be wrong. But the tablets will be in the refrigerated section. If you're in the academy, you can get it in the Amazon store. I'm getting ready to launch a general Amazon store for the general public because I've been asked so much, people who aren't in the academy. But right now, if you're in the academy, you can go to the Amazon store and you can get it right there. Usually, if you're a Prime member, it gets you to in like 2 days. It's just amazing. Okay, just follow label directions. I think it's 2 a day, but just be consistent with it. Trader Joe's, I don't think carries Udo's Choice. They may carry a probiotic, but when it comes to things like that, living organisms, I want to get the best. I think you guys are worth it, and I know my family's worth it. My daughter takes a child's version. She'll cycle maybe 1 or 2 months, then I'll have her cycle on it for a couple weeks. Not that she has a yeast infection, but you know how kids are. They just eat the craziest stuff. So again, there's the picture there is with the business between the toes. That can be very itchy. Topical yeast can be very itchy. That's correct. I believe that's the correct spelling. Udo's Choice. It's going to be an orange and brown label. They don't pay me anything. I think I make a few pennies on the affiliate link on my site, but it's nothing. They have it because I buy it there. Oh, they do? Interesting. Interesting. I never saw that in California. Why do I promote Udo's? I only promote products that I use. So I'm not saying there's not other products out there that are good quality. That's the one that I use. So is it safe to say that our bodies need a level of Candida? Well, it's just present. It's just, there's good bacteria and there's not so good bacteria. But you'll never be 100% Candida free. It just doesn't work that way. So that's why taking a bacterial side or antifungal, it's non-discriminatory. It destroys all the bacteria. And where A lot of people run into trouble is they can't build up their good bacteria fast enough, and they end up getting a relapse. They keep going back. How many of you on this broadcast have had recurrent yeast infections? Put up a 1 if you've had a recurrent yeast infection. You think you knocked it out, and a month later it's back. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Crack that egg, by the way. Yeah, and you'll notice each time it comes back, it gets worse and worse and worse, more aggressive. And remember, organisms, they want to survive. So when we throw an antibiotic at them, I'm very prosaic. I don't get into good or bad. We throw an antibiotic and it may kill 98% of them, but the 2% that lives now becomes resistant to that. So that's why you get these resistant strains, these super bacterial strains that come back and they become more and more virulent. Only have one, never want another. Yeah, Is it a billion count on the? I'm not sure what it is, but it's up there. What's nice is I don't think you could take too much. And in some women that I've worked with, it was so bad that actually, it had them insert it vaginally, and that seems to be. There was a study done. It had an 80% more effective rate than a cup of yogurt a day. Interesting, right? So again, I don't know you. You're on my broadcast. I don't know what your condition is. These are people that I've worked with one-on-one or over the phone, and I've looked at their lab work and their cultures and things like that. But I would just start taking the probiotic orally, and I would just follow the label directions. But I would be on it for at least 6 weeks consistently, and you should see things improve. I would also recommend supporting your lean body mass protein intake and water intake. 3 basic fundamental things. And you should see your digestibility improve and your overall condition improve. Remember, you're not treating the candida, you're supporting your digestive tract, and it will deal with the as you support its normal bacteria, it will deal with the candida on its own. Okay? It just depends on your eating habits. If your eating habits support the building up of candida, high processed foods, high processed sugar diets, that's going to feed candida. That's why when you have a yeast infection, a lot of you guys maybe can relate to this, you crave simple sugars, you crave chocolate, you just crave sugar in the simplest form, usually in the white sugar at the store or the packets, right? So that's just how yeast gets fed, is they give you these craving signals. And once you begin to deal with them, they begin to subside. I've read that large doses of vitamin C helps. Yeah, I've read a little bit about that. Without a good probiotic, though, I think it's going to take some time. I would recommend 1 billion twice a day. I don't think that's unreasonable. Salt, maybe an iodine issue. So you might want to try some nori or some seaweed. That may help your salt cravings. All 3 things, water and protein. Yeah, those are the 3 things. So a good probiotic, support your lean body mass. And right now I'm giving away 30 days free in my academy. The first week you'll know how to find your body fat percentage and your lean body mass percentage, and know how to support that protein-wise and water-wise. Those numbers will be specific to your body, exactly what you need, no more, no less. And then some other fundamental things about just eating, not only for your body type, for the time of day, basic fundamental things that, in my opinion, aren't taught out there in the real world too much. I definitely crave sweets more than I ever lately. Yeah, and guys, we're just as susceptible. Prednisone loves sugar, white miles a ton. Well, that's candida usually. I should have a picture up here somewhere with inside of someone's mouth. Fatigue can be. Also, what can be interesting side effect of candida is asthma type symptoms. How many of you want to know why asthma type symptoms can be a sign of candida infection? This is going to blow some of you away. Just put up an A if you get an aha moment. Chromium, I guess it could help, but the problem is good bacteria. I didn't give you the thank you though. I didn't give you the reason why yeast infections can mimic asthma or breathing issues. It can. Obviously, you want to get checked out, but it can. And how many of you want to know why? Put up a 1. I'm not in Puerto Rico. I'm in Hawaii. I just need more people to want to know before I just spend 3 or 4 minutes explaining it. Okay, thanks. Okay. So, hey, thanks. Go live with Lovely. So here's the key. When we have candida in excess amounts, remember, they're living organisms. Living organisms respire, and they have waste. They have excrement. you know, I guess you could call it urine and feces. Okay, well, you get enough billions of them in the body in the wrong place, you start getting thrush, you start seeing white in your mouth, you have itching, and it's chronic. All that waste can begin to affect your breathing, and you can have almost like asthma type symptoms, and it could be a byproduct of having high amounts of candida or yeast problems. Interesting, right? Because remember, the lungs are associated with the bowel, so there's a direct link there, and this goes way back to the theories of Chinese medicine. So that's why you'll notice, and try to think about this now, if you have a chronic yeast problem, you'll notice when it's at its worst, you can't seem to catch your breath sometimes. Cookie, is that where I thought it was? I thought it was the Caribbean, but they can be a nuisance at times. People have actually not bought in their house because of those frogs. So know your symptoms, recognize them first. If you have any, curiosity at all, go get it cultured. If you have white patches in your mouth and you want to know for sure, they should run a 24-hour culture. And then they'll say, oh yeah, it's yeast. If it's really bad, they may give you a massive antifungal medication, but you got to build up your good bacteria. Well, coconut, interesting. Coconut has antimicrobial, antibacterial effects. So I eat a couple teaspoons a day anyway. I would do that anyway. I wouldn't use coconut as a medicinal treatment per se. I would just use it as a daily use substance. And that's kind of how I run the academy, is I give you things to do on a daily basis where you don't have to jump out of your skin to get things done. Is candida contagious? I guess if you got a big enough exposure to it, kissing or something, but highly unlikely. Yeah, pure coconut, the stuff that you cook with is fine. If you go to the Amazon store, there's that Harrington Farms. It's probably the most reasonably priced, or you can get it at your local store, but I probably go through 50 to 70 ounces a month. I pull with it, I do a number of things. The research is just outstanding on it. And they're actually doing hard research on coconut oil and dementia and brain shrinking. Some interesting studies are being done because of how the fat is structured in it. So it has some real qualities to it. And I only recommend things based on the research. I have no personal beliefs or ad hominem attacks against people who use something else. I just go by the research. And what's the most long-term benefit? Not short-term number changes. I'm not really interested in changing someone's numbers. I'm interested in improving their health. Their numbers will change on their own. Why does it call it? Because we're breathing there's so much waste that we have to dispel their waste. And remember, they're metabolizing. They're eating and drinking, obviously not from a cellular level, but they have waste after that. You get enough of that, it can actually begin to irritate the lungs, and you can get asthma-like symptoms. Interesting. Please do. And all the pictures you see in this broadcast are all candida related, but some of them look like acne, some of them look like psoriasis, toenail fungus. I mean, it's all related. All this stuff begins in the gut. Remember, how many of you want to try to guess this? And again, I'm not here to make anyone wrong. What do you think your immune system percentage is in the GI tract? So your gut. What do you think? How much of your immune system lives there? Excellent. Remember, you have to make however you practice your nutrition or your dietetics, you have to make it reasonable for the person that's participating. You may be right, but if you make it so unreasonable, they're not going to participate in anything. It's about 70%. Those numbers are a little high, but the research that I've read is between 70 and 75%. I tend to say it's maybe higher than that, but it's about 75%. So if you have a poor digestive system, constipated a lot, you always feel uncomfortable in your gut, your immune system is probably going to function similarly. Always sniffles, colds, flu-like symptoms. And usually, I don't know what the percentage is, but I would say a good percentage, 70%, usually have some form of a candida problem. Okay, some things for women to do. I know this is going to sound strange. Stay away from anything synthetic, panties, cotton, and even some research says no panties at all. You have to get fresh air down there. How many of you guys, or gals rather, if you leak urine when you sneeze, that's a problem. It's creating a bacterial pathway back up into your urinary tract. And that's usually a tendon and ligament weakness. Please go to my site. My scrolling bar will give you my link up there. So again, Not treating candida or the yeast, supporting the body that has the problem. That's the big distinction between the disease treatment and support. Probiotic is an element that supports the good bacteria in the gut. That's probably a fair general term that everyone can understand. Yeast can cause so many things, asthma-like symptoms. It could participate in constipation because the digestive tract is out of balance or out of homeostasis. I don't ever get thrush when I take antibiotics. That's because it's knocking out. Remember, antibiotics are non-discriminatory. They don't just go after the negative bacteria. They destroy all bacteria, good and bad, and that's part of the problem. Steroids do it. Birth control pills are a culprit. Even some synthetic vitamins can irritate that. So it's a good idea. I always have it in my fridge, a probiotic. Again, my daughter's on it inconsistently, throughout the year. She's only 6, but she's never been really sick. She's had a couple of fevers, but they've been gone in a day or two. So again, for those of you that are parents, the worst thing to do is have a child that's having health problems. So interesting. Again, there are so many visuals out there that I could put up. I just want to give you an idea that yeast doesn't just mean a discharge. How about milk thistle? Milk thistle appears to have some good research on liver detoxification. But I studied in China, and the docs there say if you could take an herb, you want to take it in combination. You never want to take it by itself. You'll get your access link to the academy. It's that simple. And then you'll get an invite to the Facebook group. So when you take care of your health, you take care of everything, not just one thing. It's a big difference from just treating a disease versus supporting the body. But yeah, some of these pictures are kind of aggressive, I know. You guys are having problems with the hello. So I hope that helps. If you guys got an aha moment from this, put up an A. If you're like, oh, that can't be right, please, by all means, as I always say in my broadcast, all my research is from PubMed, The Lancet, my diabetic information, most of it comes from Harvard, Western Price Foundation. I'm not, I have no opinions. I just go by I hack the geniuses out there, and hopefully I put it in terms that you folks can understand and we all can understand. Yeah, sorry about the connection issue. It's Hawaii, and that's just, when you're in the islands, that's just how it goes. But great questions tonight. Hope that helped some of you. Remember, to summarize, you have to think longer term. If you had it off and on, for 5-10 years, you're going to be, 3 months, 6 months, some people a year, to make it sustainable. If you had it a short time, the shorter duration, usually the quicker you can get it supported and get that balance back. But it's all about balance. We're not like people say, well, can I detox over the weekend, or can I clean this up? We're not like a porch. We can just go and hose things off on a Sunday, and Monday morning everything is good. It doesn't work that way. And don't be fooled by the media trying to let you think it does. It just doesn't. Think of it more so like peeling an onion. You just peel layer after layer. And some of the members in the academy, they can tell you, they've been with me a year, and they're still learning and doing new things, because this is a process. It's not there's no finish line per se. It's a process, and you'll get better and better as you go around the track. So I hope that helps. So that's my broadcast on Candida. I was asked. I try to broadcast on topics I'm semi-familiar with, and I can go after the research rather quickly, and I'll give the broadcast based on what I'm asked. And I was asked several times to run something on this. It can cause so many things you can't believe. Itchy feet to the point where it won't let you sleep. Tinnitus-like symptoms, ringing in the ears, itching in the neck, sore throats. A plethora of things. Aloha, mahalo. Oh, thank you so much. So again, my pathology teacher, Dr. Prem Parkash, an Indian emeritus at the University Hospital of London, brilliant guy. He said nothing is ever 100%. So even though it shouldn't do this, there will be one person that it always has an issue with. That's why with yeast problems, you could have almost no symptoms except bloating. Oh, I get bloated every time I eat, blah, blah, blah. That could be candida. For you women, a discharge is usually the last stage. It's like full blown. A good book on the topic, it's an older book, but I think it's still very relevant, is Dr. Cook's The Yeast Connection. And he gets really into how it affects the brain and dyslexia and trouble reading and trouble writing. And they really get into it. You get the paperback on Amazon for just a few bucks. It's a few years old, but the information is still relevant today. I'm certain there's other books out there that are more current, but that book I'm certain is factually based. He did a good job writing that book. It's like a little paperback, but it makes a lot of sense. Excellent. Excellent. Again, you're not treating the yeast. You're supporting the body that has the problem. That's the real key. After walking a lot, what does a burning sensation mean bottom of my feet? Could be a neuropathy. I would first want to see what your blood sugar numbers are like. That would be the first thing I want to rule out. Secondly, do you have a low back problem or any type of discomfort or numbness down the leg? Yeast connection is the classic on the topic. Yeah, it's been around for, like I said, at least a decade, maybe longer. But I think it was Dr. Cook and his wife, and they got 2 white coats. They're on the cover. You probably end up getting a used copy, but it's a good book. It's an easy read. It's about 440 pages, but it's an easy read. Is it longer than that? Yeah. I don't want to know how old I am, so that's why I say 10 years. It's probably closer to 20, but I'm just going to say I think it's around 10. Okay. I'm trying to keep Father Time in the 30-year range here. Yeah. Unfortunately. It's not how old you are chronologically, it's how good you take care of yourself. We talk about taking more than one herb next time. Well, I can answer it now. Again, I'm just going by what I learned when I was in China. I got my acupuncture training in Beijing, China in 1996. And I remember walking in the kitchen of this hospital, and there were dozens of copper pots boiling on the stove. And when I first got there, I was kind of like a know-it-all. I didn't know nothing. And I said, oh, do you know in the U.S. we capsule all of our herbs, and we have, they said, they'd say, you Americans, you have to boil the herb in combination to get the real power out of it. He said, capsules, it's not good. Dr. Ming, little tiny guy, maybe 5 feet tall, awesome guy. Yeah, the herbal medicinals and yogi, you'll see they have all their teas in combination. Ayurveda, same thing. They recommend a few ashwagandha and a few others, but I think in general they recommend using them in combination is the best. Again, the scroller up top, check me out. I think my Lean Body Academy website is there. If you type in my name, you can find out about me. How's the island? Right now it's wet. It rained all day today, but even rain here is nice. If you pull up, I think it's breathe.com, the Pacific Islands have some of the cleanest air in the world, and right now it's pretty bad. China is pretty bad, so I'm pretty pleased to be here. But all my wife's family is here, so I'm at her parents' house, so it's nice that my daughter can spend time with her grandparents. Also, I want to wish all of you guys a happy holiday, safe holiday out there, and for all of you that watch broadcasters like me. I mean, we wouldn't be here without you guys, without your support. You guys have gotten my Life Without Diabetes book from the time I started posting it up, and I made it just what is it? Just the cost of shipping. You can get my book just for the cost of shipping. On Vancouver Island, it was rainy day too. Yeah. Thank you so much. Crack that egg, by the way. Let's get a picture in there. So is this topic helpful for you guys? Did you get something out of it? I want to just give you information that will help move you in a better direction. And then you can communicate better with your primary. The whole idea is that you take responsibility by having knowledge. I get patients sometimes that come to me and say, I don't want to take any drugs. Well, okay, what are you willing to do to help yourself then? If you're not willing to do anything, then stick with what you're doing. You'll control your symptoms. Will it improve your health? I'm not too sure. But definitely you have to make a choice, and it takes responsibility. But responsibility without information, that's a problem, right? So I want to thank you guys for watching my broadcast. Namaste. Blessings to you. Happy holidays. And I'll talk to you. I got your book. It's been a great read so far. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys have just blown my book off the charts. I mean, Periscope viewers, I think you guys bought like 60 or 70% of my books. It's just awesome. And right now it's only $7.95. That's pretty much what it costs to ship. Unless you're in Singapore, which is like $11. One of my staff told me, hey, this book's $11 a ship. You still want to ship it? I'm like, yeah. I told them I would ship it anywhere in the world. Ship it over there. So again, I just want you to use it. And what I ask is if you go to Amazon and leave me just type in Life Without Diabetes, you'll see my book come up on Amazon for like 3 times as much. Just leave me a review. That would be awesome. And then send me an email a couple months later. Let me know how it's going. I mean, you know, to at least to this healthcare practitioner, hearing stories about, hey, my dad was able to get off his meds. His doctor can't believe it, and all these type of stories. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, to me, that's that's like getting paid in a sense. It's like, wow, you know, what I'm doing is really mattering in someone's life. For those of you who don't know, I lost my father at 56 to the side effects of diabetes. That's what prompted me to write my book. He was fine. All of a sudden, he was gone. Doc, you have time today to look into... Doc, you have time to look into... Tara, email me. You have your account. It's all set up. I'll send you another login, but I've sent you like 3. I'll send you another one, but I can only send you a login to the email that you left in there, and I'll look into it personally. So you have access to the Academy, and you should have access to the Facebook group if we have your Facebook email. So if they're different, make sure we have that one. So that's why I got into this work. Oh, you're so welcome. Just apply it. You know, pick one thing. People say, "Oh, I can't do everything." Pick one thing. Oh, thank you so much. Pick one thing and move forward. Gross fungus. Yeah, the toe fungus is pretty bad. Yeah, if you have no Facebook group, you can't get in the Facebook group, but you definitely have your email in the Academy. You are a Lean Body Academy member, and I'll send you a link and I'll send you a screenshot of your account. You're right there. You just have to open it up and access it. That was one of the for those broadcasters. I think Tara won, not won, but applied for the 30-day free membership, and she got it. Just having an issue accessing it, but that happens from time to time. We'll get that sorted out. But thanks, guys, again. Sorry about the infrequent connection where I'm at. I swam 3 days this week. Practiced the lunges in the water too. Awesome. You have them already. I'll send them to you again. Vicks Vapor Rub worked for me on the toenail fungus. Yeah, I've heard of that, but remember, it's coming from your gut. So you want to make sure that you're supporting your GI, or it's just going to come back. Yeah. Topical treatment can be Vicks Vapor Rub. Tea tree oil works wonders when you come out of the shower. But remember, it's coming from inside. That's why all your toes don't get affected, just 1 or 2. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's awesome. My dad had it really bad. Thank you, Tara. Crack that egg, Tara. Let's get a picture in there. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for joining my broadcast. Hope you like this OBS. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. You know, I like tea tree oil better. Vicks Vapor Rub used to have eucalyptus and other oils in them. I think it's petroleum based now, but I've heard it helping. It certainly won't hurt. That's something you can get at your local convenience store. I like tea tree oil and I like coconut oil. I like those. Maybe a 3 combination, not just one thing. Okay, and the probiotics for sure. And you're supporting your lean body mass. Join the Academy. Go to my profile. Get 30 days free, and you'll love it. I promise you. Okay, guys. Thanks. Bye bye.